Hi, I'm Jay Porter from Primacoustic, and today we are going to mount the Surface Impaler. The Surface Impaler is our most popular impaler, mainly because of ease of use. Really simple. You don't have to think very hard about this one. Just literally stick a few of these up on the wall and jam your panel down onto it. Tools required: a tape measure, a level, drill and drill bit, screws and drywall anchors, hammer, and a Phillips screwdriver. So step one when mounting any Broadway panel onto the wall surface is to establish the height of your panel. How high do you want this panel off of the ground, and go from there. My general rule of thumb for most listening position type applications where you're sitting down is you want that panel right at ear level. Your ear may be 1/3 of the way up that panel, so generally anywhere from 2.5 to 3 feet off the ground is perfectly acceptable. In larger rooms where your audience is standing, or in much taller rooms, you probably want the panels higher off the ground than that. But in a typical listening room studio application, 2.5 to 3 feet is the way to go. So that's where we're going to start here. And now that we've drawn our bottom line, we'll simply apply our measuring tape to the wall and go up 48 inches from the bottom line to determine your top line. Now, a helpful suggestion is to draw a second line approximately 1 inch above the first. This allows you to have a line to line up the top of the panel with before you pull the panel down onto the impalers. So the panel will pull down onto the impaler clip by about 1 inch. So drawing that line ever so lightly about 1 inch above your existing panel indicator will give you that starting point, make life a little bit easier for you. Next, we're going to determine the spacing from the panel next to the panel we're mounting. So I've shown my top line, I've shown my bottom line. Now, how far over do we want the panel to be from this existing panel? We're going to go 12 inches. Again, using your bubble level, it's advisable just to draw a quick little marker line very lightly in pencil along that edge, just so you have a guide when you place the panel on the wall. I also recommend just making another mark over at the other side, 24 inches wide, so you've got a good little idea marked on your wall of the exact width of your panel. So now we have our indicator lines drawn. We know our one side of our panel is here, the other side of our panel is here. We have our bottom line and our top line. It's now very easy to take the 4 surface impalers and quickly mark where they go. The beautiful thing about these surface impalers is they are very simple to use. Mounting is not critical. They do not have to be perfectly level. They do not have to be perfectly spaced. Wherever you put them on, as long as they're in this target area, they're going to work. So one little suggestion to remember, make sure that they're in at least 4 inches from any of the lines you've drawn on the wall. This makes sure that the impaler will be impaling the fiberglass of the panel and not have to go through the fabric. It just makes your life a little bit easier during the installation. So, take your surface impaler and mark where you need to drill your holes. So now that we've marked the drill holes on the wall, we're actually going to go through and, using our power drill, actually make those holes. The next step is to take our drywall anchors and actually insert them into the holes that we just drilled. So now time to mount our standard surface mount impaler onto the wall. So now we have them here, we have our panel. We're going to get started on getting this mounted. So if you remember, I drew two lines. We drew the line where we want the top of our panel to be, and then we drew a line 1 inch above that. That's where we're going to start the top of this panel before we pull it down onto these impaler hooks. So hopefully we come very close to our target line for the top of the panel. So the first thing I do, line up with the top line the best I can, holding it steady. Then I also have to pay attention to the line at the side of the panel. Now we have this lined up the best we can. It's just simply a motion of pushing down and pulling down at the same time. Now the wonderful thing about these surface impalers is you do have a little bit of wiggle room. So we've got this mounted on the wall here. We can see we're slightly off on the level. I just give it a little nudge here at the top. And now we're good. Now we have our wall-mounted panel on Surface Impalers.